Every day I wake up thinking what other unholy and awful thing is going to happen in gaming today, and sometimes even my wildest expectations get met in alarmingly insane degrees, and this is what today's story is all about. There's a VTuber named Kersha. She's like me and others, a supporter of Gamergate, and as you'll see in this video, the people involved here basically just waged war on Gamergate again, and it is gross. Also, here's Kersha's YouTube channel on screen so you can see it. She's mostly a streamer who plays her favorite video games to her audience. I've been on stream with Kersha before. I think it was on Yellow Flash's channel if I remember correctly. And during that time, I never once felt attacked or weird to be in the presence of Kersha. She was a totally normal and nice person. But she, like myself, has opinions that people obviously don't like, and now they're trying to cancel her. And this all ties to a certain video game likely none of you have played called Crime Boss Rock-A City, which is what you're seeing on screen now. The game did not review well at all. As you can see here from Metacritic, the game is sitting at a 52 and its user score is, well, even worse. So this game isn't exactly an industry darling, but Kersha played this game, which was struggling to find an audience because it, well, let's just say it how it is, it wasn't very good. But Kersha had fun with it, and we've all enjoyed games that maybe didn't review well, and there's nothing really wrong with that. But when it comes to Kersha, she played this game and enjoyed it so much she kind of grew a cult following around Crime Boss Rock-A City, and through her streams, many of her fans ended up playing the game too because Kersha endorsed it. This eventually led to this Crime Boss studio, which is called In-Game Studios, to partner with Kersha, and then they promoted and supported her cause because she, kind of actually, I'm not kidding, pretty much saved their game from complete and total irrelevancy. I've never played the game myself. I think it looks really bad, but hey, more power to you if you enjoy it, and Kersha definitely did. But now, this is where everything goes from a cheery underdog story to the depths of putrid hell now. This then brings me to Vice. It's a website that is all over the place when it comes to their own consistency with how they report on things. And they ran a hit piece on Kersha back in late April that's titled, "Why is this gamer subs VTuber pushing the great replacement theory?" This article is written by someone named Anna Valens, who has more than enough skeletons in their closet, but I'll show you that at the end of the video because my god, dude. But the bulk of this article is that Valens here decided to target Kersha because Kersha is not exactly a bleeding heart liberal type like most gaming content creators masquerade as. Kersha, kind of like myself and others, we don't really hide who we really are. Like, I will be the first to tell you I'm not a liberal. I don't believe in a lot of the things that whole side pushes, and this makes me problematic, and so too does it with Kersha. So, this Vice writer, Anna Valens, don't harass them by the way, even though they do not believe in the same concept of not harassing other people, wrote this hit piece and pretty much labeled Kersha a Yahtzee. As Valens writes here early on in the article about Kersha, GamerSupps is in hot water with many VTuber fans due to the behavior of one particular creator working with the company Mythic Talent's Kersha Verstal. An anime fox girl with a knack for sharing alt-right talking points, Kersha has landed herself in controversy after controversy online due to her right-wing beliefs. At this point, it begs the question whether GamerSupps will one day pull the plug on the VTuber for good. Valens then brings up, as you can see here, how Kersha believes in the great replacement theory, which, if you don't know what that is, pretty much people believe that globalists are flooding predominantly white populated countries with migrants to replace them. And Kersha has spoken on how these countries like Britain, France, and more should value their national sovereignty and who they are and stop allowing people from other countries, mostly those of Middle Eastern ones, to basically control and override them in the future. And then Valens of Vice then drops this, which reads, "While some VTubers may wink or nod to conservative beliefs, Kersha has never hidden her political leanings. In fact, she's gained a reputation for speaking out on behalf of the right-wing side of the VTubing fanbase. In February, she said trans women advocating for trans rights are autogenophilic sick males with graphic murder fantasies. She praised Mythic Talent co-owner Asmongold for arguing, every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness." And then Gamergate subreddit r/Kotaku in action has shared Kersha's work to acclaim, calling her based fox. Another post on r/YouTube drama declared Kersha the main culprit for alt-right pandering in VTubing. Valens then continues with his accusation that then reads, "She's alt-right, anti-woke, and apparently transphobic to a degree. Few comments mentioned her calling trans women being mentally ill men," one Redditor would say. Then, as you can see, as I highlighted here in that same part, they updated the article, and this so-called Redditor basically admits that they can't actually confirm any of this, which then begs the question, why to Vice? If you can't confirm what you're stating here about Kersha, why are you reporting on it as fact then? Isn't that journalism 101 to these types? It sounds like they have an agenda, which they do, by the way, and then Valen's advice then continues by saying this. All right seems like an accurate description of Kersha and her politics. In one clip, Kersha gives way to the Great Replacement Theory, a racist conspiracy theory suggesting people of color are ethnically cleansing white people through demographic changes and cultural diversity. In the clip, Kersha argues that a mosque should not be built in northern England, declaring a hostile takeover is happening in the US via illegal immigration and through the UK via the migrant crisis nonsense and refugees. Valens continues with a quote from Kersha, which said, as seen here, our politicians are assisting these people with both demographic replacement as well as just making citizens' lives worse in general. They're changing the entire culture of these countries, Kersha said, essentially implying both the UK and US are intended for white Europeans and Americans respectively. It is still going to change these countries irreparably in the future. Valens also posts in this Vice article, as seen here, that Kersha also retweeted the ICE 24/7 tip line, which was established when Trump took office, which can be used so citizens can tell the government of undocumented illegals so ICE can come in and remove them. So this is all bad according to Valens and Vice, even though, and look, I'm not saying you can't be one or the other on topics like immigration or not, but the reality is that the majority of Americans, which Kersha is one of them, voted overwhelmingly to make such concepts a reality for the United States. So Valens clearly has a big hatred for Kersha, and of course this Vice article then exploded and reached other people in the GamerSupps community, which if you don't know what that is, GamerSupps is like a flavored drink, energy drink company thing, kind of like G Fuel. So anyways, then another VTuber named Kaio, I didn't even know this person existed until like a month ago, but they ended up tweeting this following the whole Vice Kersha thing, which then reads, I've decided to end my partnership with GamerSupps because of certain creators affiliated with the brand who have expressed openly bigoted views without facing any consequences. I believe in fostering an inclusive community, and I do not wish to support or be associated with companies that enable harmful behavior. This is not the company that I want my community to spend money on. They then continued with this. I encourage fellow creators to think about whether or not their partnership with the company is worth continuing. I don't agree that it's a good idea to just let creators create content and try to do our best to just make the best products on the internet if it means allowing hateful people to be representing your brand. Of course, people were quick to point out that this KO person was very evidently biased and was drinking on the liberal DI Kool-Aid, as friend of the channel Yellow Flash would swoop in out of nowhere and drop this bomb on them, which then reads, you can't be racist towards white people, but of course someone like you wouldn't know that. Of course, they're doing the failed Kotaku journalist angle here, where it's impossible to be racist towards white people, but it's problematic if any other skin color of person is attacked, but white people, fair game, have at it. Do whatever you want, like always. Yeah, it's hypocritical, absolutely, I know, but this is how a lot of these circles work. They're totally fine if you're racist against white people, that doesn't really affect your brand potential, I guess, but anything they disagree with, and now you're literally the devil. So, as you can see, Kersha is being attacked a lot. However, this now brings me back to that Crime Boss Rockay City game now. So like I said earlier, Kersha is a big supporter of that game. She partnered with Crime Boss because she kinda saved the game from dying herself by streaming it. As seen here, Kersha's streams about Crime Boss amassed well over 480,000 views for the studio, which has resulted in also, tangible sales and money for them. However, following this Vice article, the backlash from other, VTuber groups and more, Crime Boss made the choice to quietly discontinue their partnership and let's just say pretty much blacklist Kersha in response. After everything she did for them, this company just gave in to pressure and they caved in. Kersha then confirmed this herself. Here's what she said. A month into a life ruination campaign started by people who hate me and during a pre-planned vacation where communication and access to my home and resources were minimal, in-game studios, developers of Crime Boss Rockay City, a game I loved and heavily promoted since its release in 2023, dropped their relationship with me. They were swayed by anonymous posts, Reddit users who admit to not watching me, people who lie by omission, and people who strawman all of my stances. And to cap it all off, a muckracker from a dying news outlet with an axe grind decided to compile it all into an article, two with no more integrity than the Tumblr blog they no doubt had. This company is not experiencing cancel culture. My audience were paying customers who are voting with their voice and their wallets after a company makes an astronomically poor decision they disagree with. These are not review bombs. These are not people who don't own the game brigading. In-game studios are experiencing what happens when you capitulate to cancel culture. These two things are not the same. It's incredibly obvious and everybody knows it. You people held this power to ruin others reputationally and financially for years, and we are now standing up for ourselves. F you, F cancel culture, and F the Darvo that happens when anyone decides to defend themselves. You reap what you sow. So as you can see, this whole cancel culture campaign thing has been designed to essentially destroy Kersha's Kersha's livelihood and ruin her reputation through smear campaigns and cancel tactics to effectively destroy her completely. Of course, the internet caught wind of all of this, and it's not going exactly as these people planned at all, because cancel culture is stupid, it's lame as hell, and when you go and target people's livelihoods instead of standing by your own beliefs and refuting theirs, all it actually proves is that you are indeed unable to protect your own beliefs and ideas, because you know deep down if push comes to shove, you will fold like a lawn chair every single time. And what Kershaw said is not controversial about ICE or really anything else. If it was, then the overwhelming amount of Americans who voted that same way are just as problematic as her. But maybe that's the point. That's what Anna Valens of Vice and people like this Kaya VTuber want us to believe, that anyone who believes in conservative values are by definition problematic and should not, under their own viewpoint, be allowed to exist and foster an audience or a living because they don't agree with these people 100% of the time. Is it wrong? Yes. Is it weird? Also yes. And is this all stupid and annoying? Oh yeah. Kershaw would reveal more about her connection with Crime Boss, where she would say this: I was partnered with them directly for over a year, providing constant marketing via my large platform. Did testing and bug reporting for them on the game both on and off my stream, as well as test out platforms for people they wish to partner with in the future. Dealing with Xsolla as a means to revenue split with creators was probably the worst one. I also used my contacts to help them hire new devs when they needed certain positions filled. I was also going to be put in the game as a playable character. I was doing this mostly for free and only got my Xsolla revenue split links in the last few months. So Kershaw helped this dying studio reference talented devs to work on the game with them, and also helped them address and fix bugs, and was even going to be put into the game itself, dude. And yet, she did all of this technically for free for a while, and then in-game studios' bright idea here was not to protect Kershaw, but instead sever all ties and then just throw her to the wolves. So, how's Crime Boss doing now thanks to all the backlash? You know, following them tossing away a prominent figure in Gamergate. Well, let's look into that one now. As seen here, Crime Boss has been locking down forum talks talking about Kershaw or downright deleting these threads at times as well. Yet any thread that hates or speaks ill of Kershaw is magically kept alive and open for all to speak in. Wow, imagine that. Then Asmongold chimed in on this whole situation, so here's what he said. Listen to this.
I think that advertisers need to realize, and this is what I think that we need to do collectively as like as a community, like not just me, but like in general, is that we need to come together and just absolutely, totally, like if somebody gets taken off of a sponsor because of like something bad that they said and it's not really bad, it's just like taken out of context, I think that we should absolutely shit on them. Like 100% we should. Because there needs to be a awareness that this type of behavior isn't acceptable in the public anymore. And I think that it's not. And yeah, we need to cancel culture. Yes, and the way that you do that, by the way, like Amber Heard. So I think a really great example of this is like Bud Light. And it's also a lot of gaming companies. Gaming companies now are terrified to do anything because they're worried that people like me might make a video about it and they might totally shit on the game and destroy the game's popularity. I want to say that good. Absolutely. We want you afraid. We want you to not feel like you can do this kind of stuff. And I will continue to use this power as a weapon against the people who have weaponized it against me. And so this is what I will continue to do. I think these people are they are awful people. And also, beyond everything, they are dishonest. They are lying and they are dishonest. And they're trying to force people into behavior. Concord put the fear of God in them? Yes, exactly. And so whenever any of these things happen and somebody loses a sponsor or they like support somebody like this, I think you should absolutely on them as much as you possibly can to make advertisers terrified of making these decisions again. And I think that if you do that, you can stop it from happening. Because keep in mind that the advertisers do not actually care about any of these social issues. They do not care about trans people. They do not care about non-binary people. They do not care about anybody except for money. That's it. And so that's really what I think in general should happen.
And then, of course, the defenders of anti-Gamergate who hate people like Kershaw and Asmongold made videos like this one, which you can see on screen here, where some person named Foodstops tried to own Asmongold and Kershaw, and the like to dislike ratio, well, just look at that, man, that is awful. And the reason why they did this is because Asmongold is the co-owner of Mythic Talent, and Kershaw is one of the content creators that is also a part of that same Mythic Talent. So the issue here, according to these people, is that Asmongold is just protecting his employees, so to speak, but I mean, he can still speak on things even if someone is aligned with Mythic Talent. Asmongold has also reacted to other content creators in the past who too are also a part of Mythic Talent as well. A good example of that is Legendary Drops, who's also, like Kershaw, in the Mythic Talent group. So these people find it disingenuous that Asmongold is defending people who he technically benefits from financially by them making content, or I guess in this case reacting to their content. But that's a leap, of course. A content creator is still a content creator, and the point is that whether Kershaw is Mythic aligned or not, what's still happening to her here is just not right at all. Whether Asmongold was or wasn't the co-owner of Mythic in this, whole situation, the point would still stand. That what they're trying to do with Kershaw here to make an example out of her is not okay, no matter how you try to spin the story. I don't think anybody should have their livelihoods taken away, but when these types are clearly willing to attack and cause smear campaigns like this, it just further proves that they have no moral ground to really stand on. It reminds me of myself, actually. I got let go from G Fuel, I think it was last year, and the reason given was that I was basically problematic. I wasn't given a warning or anything. They just went, hey, we don't want to partner with you, and that's it. Was it disappointing? I mean, kind of, but frankly, the money that you make from G Fuel is kind of next to nothing anyway, so it wasn't really the money that mattered to me, it was more so just the principle of the act instead. That G Fuel was willing to sever ties with me because I was making content that I guess they found too spicy. And it's the same with Kershaw. Companies like these are just political chameleons, and they don't actually hold any core values themselves. Their actual morals are not depicted by human decency, but simply by whatever is politically correct at the time. If being pro-conservative was the de facto meta, G Fuel would be accepting conservatives like crazy. Instead, they clearly aren't, and with this in-game studios and Crime Boss and the whole GamerSupps thing, it's pretty much the same stuff. These companies should not be supported, and Crime Boss is being ratioed into oblivion right now with their user reviews on Steam too. It's massively negative, and rightfully so. Obviously, people can only review the game on Steam if they bought the game with their money. And the reality is that the majority of people who did buy this Crime Boss game bought it because Kershaw played and endorsed it herself. So they have every right to crap on this game if they want to, and it's in everyone's best interest to no longer support any company that supports cancel culture. And this is why I don't buy G Fuel or support them anymore. I will never buy Crime Boss, and I'll never buy GamerSupps if they also sever ties too, because you have to put your foot down on things like this. And before I end this video, I just wanted to bring up this audio clip of the Vice writer of this Kershaw hit piece. So Anna Valens is a trans woman, I think, I could be wrong, but there was this clip that got spread around with how this Anna Valens thinks and how they view women. So I first heard this audio on Flashcast, and to say that I was disgusted, it's an understatement, guys. So now please listen to how this Vice writer thinks about women, and here's the audio clip.
In the future, there are a number of institutions that emerge. If you are a trans girl, or if you are trans feminine, you can go ahead and sign up for a reservation slot to an all-day access to one of many breeding facilities where you get to breed the shit out of that cis girl. So you can absolutely devastate that shit, destroy it. It's done. Like, they have to cycle the girls out because that is absolutely out of commission. And now we have breeding saunas, we have breeding bookstores, breeding movie theaters. Those are really nice. You have breeding adult schools. You have breeding esports arenas. Very fun. This is something we're building. This is the future. This is what TERFs don't want. They understand that we're trying to build these breeding facilities. And it's really important for you to fund your local trans girl top who is absolutely destroying that good right now. Like, you need to give her the funds because she is the future. But the future that I want is I just want to live in a world where you can walk down the street and you don't even have to worry about whether you're going to be able to breed that good macaroni in a pus. That's not a tall ask. And I think that's the future for all of us, is just destroying that wherever you go, whenever you go.
Yeah, if you weren't uncomfortable already, that probably pushed you over the edge like me. It's actually the reason why I wanted to make this video to begin with, because I was disgusted by what I heard here, and then finding out this same person was responsible for the hit piece that started this all was the line that was being crossed for me. And this person is disgusting for their views on women. I mean, come on, dude. And Crime Boss Rockgay City is also ran by morons who deserve all the negative press that they're getting for backing cancel culture. And while these people and more might think this war on Gamergate has been won, actually, it's only just beginning. And this is when the floodgates open, dear viewers, and these people are about to discover the full extent of screwing around and finding out. But what do you think about all of this? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe, have a wonderful day, and I apologize for making you listen to that audio, but I needed you to know the context. But take care of yourselves, vote with your wallets, please, and I'll see you guys in the next one.